watching a global celebration of all things Notre Dame, where we invite you to watch, connect, give, and vote. This is Notre Dame Day, live from the LaFortune Student Center.
Welcome back to Notre Dame Day. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome to hour number 9 of Notre Dame Day, a 29-hour global celebration of the University of Notre Dame. If you've been watching, especially at this hour, thank you. This hour's broadcast will not disappoint. I'm Dennis Brown, the university spokesman, and joining me is my co-host, Notre Dame sophomore, Claire Rembecki. We're here at the LaFortune Student Center on the Notre Dame campus, just a few yards away from the university's main building and its iconic Golden Dome. This will be our broadcast headquarters for the next 21 hours as we celebrate all things Notre Dame with students, alumni, parents, friends, and fans around the world. Claire, what can our audience look forward to this hour?
Dennis, we'll be taking a look at some of the highlights from our Notre Dame Day celebration so far. We'll have an interview with some alumni who are training for the NFL draft right in the locker room at Notre Dame Stadium.
Plus, just to shake things up, we'll also be featuring some stories about the Notre Dame School of Architecture. And as we'll find out, they do a lot more than just design buildings.
This November, a group of 4th graders from South Bend's Madison Primary School visited Notre Dame for a little architecture project of their own. 21 kids worked with Notre Dame students to build a barn as part of a program called Teamwork and Timbers. Let's watch.
Teamwork and Timber. It's an initiative that was started by the Michigan Barn Preservation Network. And I decided that this would be a great exercise not only for my architecture students, but also for students of really a range of ages. And so we looked out to the community, Madison Elementary School in particular, to get them involved in Teamwork and Timber today.
Well, we just wanted to get the students have their hands on in the building process, to get them excited about the profession and just kind of get them interacting with building materials and see how it's all put together.
Learning about fundamental geometry, tectonics, spanning. For my students, it was important for them to understand the art of timber framing, to keep it alive.
This is a really fun day to hang out with the kids and hang out with other students of different years, so it's great overall.
They get to have a hands-on primary experience with materials and methods that we hope they will take forward in their design work and in the way that they engage with the built environment.
It's chaotic, but it's very educational too.
I think it's extremely rewarding to know that already their knowledge, their expertise, they can push forward and impress upon future architects. And of course, we hope to inspire these 4th graders to consider the very important career. And so these students have come back to really inspire, hopefully, a new generation of architects.
It's rewarding for me because you get to work with younger students and see where my passions came from when I was.
By the looks of that finished product, there might be some future architects in that group.
And now we'll be showing you some highlights from our Notre Dame Day celebration. Notre Dame Day reporter Justine Ward got the chance to interview some familiar football players and Notre Dame graduates in one of the most iconic places on campus. Take a look.
I'm standing on very sacred, hallowed ground as far as ND athletics go. This is what every Notre Dame fan dreams of. I'm here live in the Notre Dame Stadium locker room. And joining us now are 3 Notre Dame graduates, as well as familiar faces from the 2013 Fighting Irish football team. How are you guys doing? How does it feel to be back? We have Zack Martin, Tommy Rees, and Chris Watt here. How does it feel to be back in the locker room that brought you so many great memories?
It feels great. This is obviously a very special place for us, and you never know when you're going to be back in here. So a lot of good memories in here with these guys. So, it's a special place.
All right, Zach, and let's chat with you for a little bit because NFL draft less than 2 weeks away. You're supposed to go in the first round. I've seen some of the mock drafts. It's looking like pick 16, pick 17, around there. We'll see. What are you doing to prepare?
I'm just up here working out in South Bend with all these guys. We've been up here for a little over about a month and a half training for it, and then heading back to Indy in a few days to hang out with the family before that night.
Nervous, excited?
A little anxious. Just kind of, the waiting process is kind of a drag. So waiting for it to get over and looking forward to see what team I go to.
All right. And Tommy, you have the second most career touchdowns for any Notre Dame quarterback in history. I know you'd like to throw a few more of those passes in the pros. What are you doing to prepare?
Pretty much the same thing as Zach. We've been here for 2 months now, training and working out, and I've been working with Coach LaFleur, who's been awesome. And it is a very long process. It's been a lot of fun though, and it's good to be back in the locker room. It feels like I'm home, so it's awesome to be here.
Do you have a favorite memory as a Notre Dame player?
Just being in the locker room with the guys. Obviously, we had so many great wins, and anytime we won a game, we'd stand up here and sing the fight song. That was always something we cherished doing. So it's great to be back, in here.
All right. And Chris, you were a 3-year starter for Notre Dame, and I understand you're preparing to enter the draft as well.
Basically just echo what these guys have to say. We've been here for the past month and a half working out, and it's been going great. We've been working pretty hard to kind of fulfill the dreams we've had since we were young kids. So just looking forward to the opportunity coming.
Got some chuckling going on back here. Well, all three of you are leaving the Notre Dame football team. So talk me through this next season. Who is going to be the breakout star this year?
I'm going to say Ronnie Stanley.
All right.
Yeah.
Tommy, your vote?
That's not a huge upset. He's been starting for a year now. I really like, we got a lot of young talent, maybe Will Fuller at receiver. Him or a guy like Torrey Hunter, I think, and both step up and do some great things.
All right, and Chris, your vote goes to?
Mine goes to Mike Hireman. He's really kind of stepped up in the weight room this offseason, and so I think he's going to do really well for the Irish next year.
All right, guys. Well, you know what? My brother plays for Stanford. He's going to be a 5th-year senior, fullback. I'm getting some groans over here. He's given me a lot of smack about last year's game. This year, can we beat Stanford?
Oh, absolutely. I think, we're going to have a lot of talent on this team, and, it'll be fun to watch, but absolutely.
All right. Well, that's it here from the Notre Dame locker room.
And we'll certainly be cheering for our Fighting Irish alumni as they pursue careers at the next level. Plus, wherever they end up, they'll have Notre Dame degrees with them. Our student athletes excel in the classroom as well.
Speaking of excellence, it was an outstanding year for Notre Dame men's soccer. They won their first national championship in school history, beating Maryland 2-1. Head men's soccer coach Bobby Clark and team captain Andrew OMalley joined Digger Phelps in the studio to talk about winning a championship, their efforts with grassroots soccer, and what to expect from next year's team. Let's watch it.
Well, I'm very fortunate to be with a national championship coach, namely Bobby Clark of our men's soccer team, but the most important player on his team, the captain, Andrew OMalley, who scored the winning goal in that championship game in some field that outside of Chester, Philadelphia, you saw as a kid growing up, and there you are winning a title with that last-second goal.
Yeah, it's a really amazing feeling to do it in front of friends and family. It's something to do that I can't explain it. I really can't.
Bobby, you've been here how many years before you won it?
I was 30 years.
How close were you?
We've been close a few times.
Yeah.
The year before, I think we really should have won it, but I don't know, we just didn't do it.
So you win it. And as soon as that gun, clock, whatever it was, goes off, what is your immediate inside reaction? Could you believe it?
I did, yeah. I believe we're going to win it every year.
Yeah.
But I'm one of these positive guys. I thought we should have won it the year before. We were the #1 seed going in the year before. We got a few injuries. This guy got injured, of course, coming right down the wire, so we had to play without him. We had to play without Luke Mishu. We had a couple of guys that were missing, and I think that hurt us the year before because...
All right, Andrew, so go back to when you were junior.
Sure.
And you were #1 seed, and you lose right away.
Yeah.
Did that stay in your head? And you as captain say, hey, guys, not this year. We got to get there and we're going to win it.
everyone held on to that feeling. Our sports psychologist, Dr. Franco, actually gave us the analogy of holding onto the thorns of the rose. So it was a good season to win a Big East championship, but everyone had those thorns in their hand all year.
Bobby, I never had a sports psychologist. I was a sports guy psychologist, and I'm sure you were the sports psychologist. So no matter what this professional person said, and he does a good job. What inspiration did you give these guys knowing that, okay, let's keep moving, we're healthy, which is always important, let's make that journey and get to that championship game?
I think there was a lot of excitement. I thought we decided, I think there's a few things went different this year. I think our fitness coach put in a completely new program over the summer. And I think it was easy to install this because we're going into the ACC. And although the Big East was a very, very strong soccer conference, the ACC is the Cadillac.
Really?
And I think that was a huge inspiration to the guys. I think we came back fitter. I think we took one game at a time. I think that was the big thing. And every game, we played by far the hardest schedule in the country. We opened with UCLA, and then we played SMU, and then we played UN. It was just one bomb. And I think that was one game at a time. And I think when we got to the tournament time, we were tournament ready. We knew we could play with anyone in the country.
I think a lot of coaches make that mistake. I look at Wichita State this year going unbeaten in basketball. What really hurt them is when Creighton got out of the Missouri Valley and went into the Big East. They became a better team. Wichita State, next thing you know, they don't play anybody tough. And then here they are. They got to play Kentucky, who beats Kansas State in order to play Wichita State, and they go down to Kentucky. I love coaches like what you just said that go out preseason and start playing the wars around the country, because not only is it going to get you mentally ready and physically ready, don't you feel that once you get through that conference, now bring on where are we going, who are we playing that first round, let's get focused.
And it doesn't matter. Through the spring season, we have a spring season. We always play nearly away games. Nearly all our games are on the road. Pre-season, 2 out of the 3 on the road, so that we don't get comfortable. We're always going to different places. It's a little bit different. And the guys, we know we can win anywhere.
There you go.
With a captain like this.
Let me tell you something. Show me the box of rings. This is the championship. Just show it to that camera.
Magic box here.
Now, you were this year's captain. Now we find out that since you were a redshirt your freshman year, you're a 5th-year senior.
Yes, sir.
And you're coming back for another captaincy to go on and win back-to-back national titles in soccer?
We are. That's the idea.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
I'm impressed. Bobby, that's got to excite you that he's back.
There's four guys are returning. 4 5th-year guys. Because they all had either through injury or something, or that they've got an extra year of...
Do you feel that now that you won it, every game you play, you're a target?
Absolutely.
Not only that,
absolutely.
There's trap games, especially in the ACC. Some team that's maybe about here, we got them this week on the road. Let's go. And all of a sudden, you guys in those trap games take a loss and you look at each other. Why weren't we ready for this one?
Can't take anybody lightly, ever. I think that's a mantra of our team, that every game is treated like a national championship. So I think for our team that won't be a problem. We'll be all mentally prepared for every single game.
As I look at Notre Dame, we talk a lot about who we are and what we are as a university. Tell me about grassroots soccer and what that does for community service with you and your team.
Grassroots soccer is an HIV. They use soccer to educate and test young Africans about HIV. So it works out of sub-Saharan Africa, so Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa. And we've adopted this as one of our charities. And we're actually going out on the 19th of May, we're going out to Zimbabwe, to Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, for 3 weeks.
Good for you.
And we're going to play some games against some very good African teams. We'll also do a lot of service, working with the people in the field. Actually, at the moment, there's 2 of our former players are interns working with grassroots in Bulawayo, Greg Klazura and Michael Rose. So they're actually out there, and I think it'll be great. They're setting up the whole trip, and we're going to do some service work in Africa. I coached in Africa in 1983, and actually the charity, the organization was started by Tommy, my oldest son. He's a pediatrician.
Okay.
And he's a soccer junkie. When he graduated as an undergraduate from Dartmouth, he went out and taught in Africa, in Zimbabwe for a year. And he came back, went to medical school, And he found out a lot of the kids that he had known when he was a 12-year-old. That year we coached, and when I coached in Africa, the family had died of HIV. Wow. And this kind of got him thinking, and he came up with an idea.
That's beautiful.
And it's now his life, really.
What a great education for you guys on this team.
Absolutely.
About the real game of life. And you know, soccer's soccer. But when you make a difference in people's lives, especially with HIV, Bobby, my hat's off to you. That's a great tribute to you, your kids, and your program. And what people have got to understand, when we talk about Notre Dame, and we talk about the legends and traditions and mystiques in Notre Dame, what you're seeing and what you're hearing, this is the now generation of what Notre Dame really is. These guys win a national title. This young man, Andrew, wants to come back for another year to lead his teammates to defend that national title. But here's Coach saying, hey, Bobby Clark, we're going to Africa. For what? Let's get focused to the real world, that hopefully we find a way with this HIV so that these people can also win in the game of life. Congratulations, I'm proud of you. Thank you for being a part of this.
Thanks, Digger.
It's always a great day when we can light up the #1 sign on top of Grace Hall. Congratulations again to the men's soccer team. Right now, we're going to introduce two Domers who have earned a place in the Notre Dame soundtrack. They perform music with some of the biggest rap artists in America, and it all started in a makeshift music studio in Zom Hall dorm room. Their names are Lawrence Santiago and Jeff Stevens, and together they are Santiago times the Natural. Trisha Hart interviewed Lawrence and Jeff before their Notre Dame Day performance. Sit back and enjoy.
I'm here with Lawrence Santiago, and Jeff Stevens. Thank you guys for joining us today. How was your trip here?
It was great, speedy.
We stopped, and I did not get the McDonald's at the BP station. Almost did.
Don't eat the beef.
Don't eat the beef.
Well, I'm very sorry to hear that you didn't get to stop at McDonald's. Now, you guys have an interesting story. You two met while you were both students here, right, Lawrence?
Yeah, we met. I was an architecture student, and in Zom, where I used to actually set up my recording studio, and Jeff would come over and lay some verses. So that's kind of how we met.
Yeah, well, we actually met. Myself and another Domer came up to him in a was it North Dining Hall, and asked him to record us, and he would charge us $80 instead of doing it for free.
I was like, leave me alone.
Yeah, we eventually worked that out, though.
Capitalism at its finest. Now, obviously, rap is not that huge here at Notre Dame. How did you guys really get started?
It's not?
Well, yeah, we kind of utilized that. You know, there was a void. So I was in a rock band. You were moonlighting with an acoustic guitarist.
Right.
But we kind of saw the beauty in what we were making, and thought, wow, this can make some great mainstream hip hop. So.
And you two are based out of Chicago right now, but what are your day jobs? You guys keep pretty busy, it sounds like.
Yeah, so I'm a corporate attorney by day, billing a lot of hours, reading a lot of documents, drafting, and Lawrence?
Yeah, I do, I dabble. Architecture, art, and I'm also a marketing coordinator.
And a new dad.
Yeah, you just had a baby girl.
Yeah, named Roma. I love her.
So now you'll be extra busy. Going forward, what's kind of next for you guys?
Well, right now we're signing up a licensing deal with this publishing company to try to get some of our material on some of the NFL broadcasts and some of the good television shows out, movie trailers and things like that. And we're going to start there and see where it goes.
We have some big gigs coming up next month. We're performing with Mos Def at the Metro in Chicago. And
May 18th.
May 18th, Sunday. Yeah.
Get a little plug in there. Yeah. What will you be performing for us tonight?
Got a Hold of Me. It's one of our most recent singles. We shot the video for it maybe like a year or so ago out in LA. He was still living out in LA at the time.
And since then, it's been featured on ESPN and
ESPN First Take.
A number of other shows. So.
All right, well, I'll let you guys set up live tonight from the Notre Dame set. Here today we have Santiago times the Natural.
Oh. If they do Funky White Bar, I'll dance.
Come on. Okay. Yeah. You gotta believe me. You gotta hold me. I say you gotta believe me. You gotta believe me. Yeah. You gotta believe me. You gotta hold me. Yeah. Talk to him. Something's got a hold of me. Okay. A black hole full of gravity. I don't know what you want from me, but every time I fight, it makes me weak. Someone's got a hold of me.
Say what?
Don't know what you want from me.
Say what?
Said I'm begging for release. Said something's got a hold of me.
It feels so good to be back home. Commissioner Gordon Rain, the rap phone. The rap mobile's black on black chrome. That's black on black crime. Can't we all get along? Yo, I'm a pit bull looking for a sprung. You a lost dog looking for a bone. Bound for the king, homie, I've been a dome. Plus the float tight like jeans of Benetton. Things I'm spinning on, trying to make it to the top. I thought I told you that we won't stop. Now the game got a hold of me. You pay the ransom. Now let me see everybody with their hands up. Be so ill for real, it's like cancer. The defense doctor still looking for answers. And the girlfriend saying that I'm handsome. She fine in the face with the body of a dancer.
You know I want you lately. You're everything I need.
Talk to 'em.
And now I can't let go. Satisfaction's guaranteed. You know I want you lately. You're everything I need. And now I can't let go. Satisfaction.
I say
you gotta believe me. You gotta believe me. Yeah.
Come on.
You gotta believe me. You gotta hold on me. Yeah. You gotta believe me.
Something's got a hold.
You gotta believe me.
Something's got a hold of me.
You gotta believe me.
Listen.
You gotta hold on
I talk to him. Yo, I'm sick and tired of me tied to a desk. A three-piece with the tie and a vest. And 6 figures couldn't buy happiness. So right now, I'm willing to die for success. And right now, I'm feeling the fire on my breath as I breathe on this mic till it ain't nothing left. And when I'm going in, they'll say I'm one of the best. But that's artificial like women would think. So what am I saying? This is where I want to be. The game got a hold on my sleeve. I can't leave. It murdered the original me and I can't grieve. So this is who I be to the moment I can't breathe. When that occurs, I'm hoping I live through my words, whatever they work. Give my mama crib in the burbs, you know. But in the mean and all of the in-between, don't want to bottle my steam. I gotta follow my dreams, come on.
I'm suffocating. Go and let me out. Oh, don't you know, say you gotta hold of me. I'm suffocating. Go and let me out. Oh, don't you know, say you gotta.
I say
You gotta believe me. You gotta believe me. Yeah. You gotta believe me. You gotta hold up me.
You gotta believe me. Yo, something's got a hold of me.
You gotta believe me. Yeah. You gotta believe me. You gotta hold up me. Yeah.
You guys in the yellow jackets?
Well, it's not every day you get to meet Notre Dame grads who are accomplished rap musicians in their spare time. Before we wrap up our live telecast for this hour, we're going to check in with Claire, who is live at the Notre Dame Day Social Media Command Center. Claire?
Thank you, Dennis. We are back here in the social media headquarters with Jonathan Stanton and now joined by Lyndall. Walk us through what's going on with social media, guys.
Thanks, Claire, and thanks to all of you for tuning in. We know it's early in the morning here in the United States. We've got viewers in China, Malaysia, India. Thank you so much for tuning in, being a part of Notre Dame Day. Still got 20 hours plus and counting left for you, but now's a better time than ever to log on to NotreDameDay.nd.edu, make a gift, and cast your 3 votes. It's easy to show you how, like we do every hour. NotreDameDay.nd.edu. The big green button, give and vote, that'll get you to your giving page. You can pick your giving options, and then you'll be presented with your 3 votes. As far as social media is concerned right now, got a little bit of chatter going on here. We've got some people still calling out. They loved seeing Natalie Achanwa and Jewel Lloyd right at the top of our broadcast. They stayed with us here in the lounge for close to an hour, live tweeting with a lot of our followers. It was a big, big thrill. We were so happy to have them. And we have our social ambassadors still tuning in. We got a lot of heat from their presence all over the United States, big in the Chicagoland area, some on the West Coast, San Francisco, Los Angeles. So we're happy to have all of them with us. We have over 1,000 of them, and we hope they're all going to participate with us at some point over the next 20 hours. So going to the leaderboard, we have Lyndall. Lyndall, how are we doing right now?
We're doing good. I just joined the crew here in the social media lounge, and they made me put on this hat until we reach 1,000 gifts. So please help us out and help me take this hat off, because I'm sure it does not look great. You can see we've raised over $500,000. Thank you to everyone who's given. We appreciate it so much. Claire and I were out earlier with the roving camera crews, and our students just amaze me every time we speak with them. They're so passionate. They're so enthusiastic. Please log on, give and vote, and support the things that matter to them. Claire's going to show us what's coming up for the next hour.
Yeah. Well, coming up next hour, we have some highlights with Kellogg Institute. We have a highlight with performance by Pat McKillen. Can't even talk anymore. We're also going to spotlight the College of Arts and Letters. Unfortunately, Lewis Nix was not able to join us today, but stay tuned for today because he may be bound later. But yeah, stay tuned. We have lots of good stuff coming up. See you next hour.